Lyra Vance moved through the crowded corridors of Haven 7 space station with a mixture of excitement and caution. Her boots clicked against the metal floor as she wove past traders, travelers, and merchants from dozens of different worlds. The station was a hive of activity, buzzing with the chatter of aliens in languages Lyra didn't know. She liked the chaos. It meant opportunities. For months, Lyra had dreamed of owning her own ship. Most people on Haven 7 looked down on small old ships like hers, the kind scavengers restored piece by piece. But Lyra wasn't like most people. She wasn't wealthy, and she didn't have the luxury of waiting for a brand new vessel. She had 50 credits, barely enough to survive a few more weeks on the station, and she needed something, anything, that could carry her beyond the trading corridors of Haven 7. As she turned a corner, she saw it. A small, dusty ship tucked into the farthest corner of the scrapyard. Its paint was chipped, metal scratched and dented. Its engines looked like they hadn't been used in decades, but to Lyra's eyes it was perfect. She walked slowly, running her hand along its hull. The ship's design was unusual, smooth, almost elegant despite its age. There was a strange symbol on the side, carved into the metal, glowing faintly in the dim light of the station. "Looking at that old thing again, human?" said a rough voice behind her. Lyra turned and saw one of the station's regular scavengers, a lanky alien with green skin and 4 eyes. "I am," Lyra said calmly. "Why? Are you jealous?" The alien snorted. "You'll never get that thing to fly. Forget it. Even if you could, 50 credits won't buy you more than a junk heap with wheels." Lyra smiled. That was exactly why she wanted it. At that moment, the owner appeared. Lyra had seen him before, but he was unlike any alien she had met. He was tall and thin, with a glowing blue hue to his skin and elongated limbs. His eyes were soft and kind, and he moved with a strange, smooth grace. "I see you are interested in my ship," he said in perfect galactic common, his voice calm and melodic. "It is not much to look at, but it has potential." "Yes," Lyra said. "I want it. How much?" 50 credits, the alien said simply. "It is yours if you wish." 50 credits. That was all she had. Lyra hesitated only for a moment before nodding. She pulled out her small pouch and handed over the coins. The alien smiled, a faint glimmer in his eyes, and handed her a small key with an intricate design. "Take care of it," he said. "It chooses its owner carefully. Treat it well." Lyra laughed softly. "I always do." With that, she moved toward the ship. She slid the key into the panel near the cockpit. A soft hum resonated through the ship, faint lights flickering on the console. The symbol on the hull glowed brighter for a brief moment, then dimmed again. Lyra froze, staring at it. There was something alive about the ship, something more than metal and wires. She climbed into the cockpit and ran her hands over the controls. Nothing seemed to respond immediately. It was silent, empty, yet somehow welcoming. Lyra smiled. She didn't care if it took months to repair. She had always loved challenges, and this one felt different. Over the next few days, Lyra worked tirelessly. She had a small workshop in the lower levels of Haven 7, filled with old tools, spare parts, and her own improvised gadgets. The ship was heavy with dust and rust, but Lyra cleaned it carefully, examining every panel, wire, and engine component. She noticed that some parts seemed unusual. The metals were lightweight but strong, and some of the circuits weren't like anything she had seen before. One evening, as Lyra tightened the last panel on the engine, she noticed the glow of the symbol again. This time, it pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. Lyra leaned closer. She didn't know why, but she felt a strange connection to the ship, as if it recognized her, welcomed her. "All right," she whispered. "Let's see what you've got." She pressed a button on the console. Nothing happened at first. Then, slowly, the ship hummed to life. Lights flickered across the cockpit. Screens displayed strange symbols and numbers she couldn't understand. And then, a voice. "Greetings, Lyra Vance," it said. Calm, gentle, unfamiliar. Lyra froze. Who's there?" she asked. "I am Coral," the voice said. "I was the previous owner of this vessel. I left a part of myself within it. You are its new guardian." Lyra blinked. "You left a part of yourself?" "Yes," Coral said. "This ship has chosen you because you are curious, resourceful, and brave. It will guide you as I once guided it." Lyra's heart raced. She had expected an old ship, maybe a little functional, maybe a little temperamental. She had not expected this. A ship with a mind. A ship that could communicate. Over the next few hours, Lyra experimented. She spoke to Coral, asking questions about the ship. It responded patiently, explaining the strange symbols, the hidden compartments, and even some of the old Zephyrin technology built into the vessel. Lyra realized that this was no ordinary ship. It had capabilities far beyond anything humans had created. Word began to spread across Haven 7 about the human who had bought the ghost ship for 50 credits. Traders whispered, smugglers took notice, and even other pilots stared as she moved through the corridors with the vessel in tow. Lyra didn't care. She had the ship, and she had Coral's guidance. That was all that mattered. One day, as she was adjusting a navigation panel, a group of scavengers appeared in her workshop. "Where did you get that ship?" one demanded, his 4 eyes narrowing. "That's not just any old vessel. It's ancient Zephyrin tech." "It's mine," Lyra said firmly, standing tall despite the fear creeping into her chest. "I bought it. 50 credits. That's it." The scavengers laughed. 50 credits? That ship is worth thousands. You've been lucky, human. Don't think it will stay yours for long?" Lyra didn't argue. Luck or fate? She didn't care. She had something no one else had. A ship that could think. A ship that could guide her. And the courage to learn its secrets. That night, Lyra stayed in the cockpit long after the station had gone quiet. She traced her fingers over the console, feeling the hum of energy beneath her hands. "Coral," she whispered, "what do you want me to do?" "To explore," the ship said softly. "To learn, to grow, to prove that humans are capable of more than they know. You have been chosen because you are brave enough to try." Lyra smiled. She had always known humans had potential, even if the galaxy often underestimated them. And now, with this ancient ship and its alien intelligence by her side, she would have the chance to prove it. The days that followed were filled with preparation. Lyra scavenged parts, repaired old systems, and practiced piloting the ship. Every night, she spoke with Coral, learning the vessel's secrets, understanding its quirks, and feeling a connection stronger than she had ever felt with any machine. One evening, she found a hidden compartment in the hull. Inside was a small, intricately carved cube, glowing faintly. Coral explained that it was a memory device containing logs, star charts, and messages from Zephyrin explorers who had traveled the galaxy long before humans even left their homeworld. Lyra's eyes widened. This is incredible," she said, holding the cube carefully. "I can't believe something like this existed, and it chose me." "You were meant to find it," Coral said, "and you were meant to understand it. This is only the beginning." As Lyra gazed out at the lights of Haven 7, blinking in the distance through the station's observation window, she felt a thrill she had never felt before. Her life was about to change. She didn't yet know how far she would go, what dangers she would face, or what secrets the galaxy held. But she knew one thing for certain. With this ship, with Coral by her side, and with her courage, she was ready for anything. The ancient ship hummed quietly beneath her hands, its lights flickering like a heartbeat. It was more than metal and circuits. It was alive, and it had chosen her. Lyra smiled, gripping the controls. This was her ship. Her journey had just begun. The morning light of Haven 7 streamed through the workshop windows, bouncing off the polished surfaces of Lyra's new ship. For the first time, it looked less like a rusted relic and more like a vessel ready for adventure. Lyra had spent days repairing panels, oiling engines, and replacing damaged circuits. Yet despite her hard work, she knew that the ship held secrets far beyond her understanding. She sat in the cockpit, her fingers tracing the controls she was slowly learning. Coral's voice, calm and patient, guided her through the functions. "Adjust the power flow to the auxiliary reactors," Coral instructed. "Do not exceed 20% until you understand the limits." Lyra nodded, carefully following the steps. A soft hum resonated through the ship as the power redistributed. Lights on the console shimmered like stars. Then, almost imperceptibly, the ship shivered, like a living being stretching after a long sleep. "Are you alive?" Lyra asked, a mixture of awe and fear in her voice. "I am more than alive," Coral said. "I am connected to the vessel. It senses, it reacts, and it remembers. It has waited for someone who could awaken it fully." Lyra felt a thrill run down her spine. The idea that a ship could think, remember, and even choose its owner was incredible. Humans had always relied on technology, but never technology like this. For the next several days, Lyra continued her experiments. She discovered hidden compartments filled with strange, glowing tools and devices that responded only to her touch. The cockpit screens displayed symbols that shifted and changed when she focused on them. Coral explained that the symbols were a form of Zephyrin language used to control functions far beyond what any human had ever built. One evening, while Lyra was practicing navigation routines in the workshop's simulator, the ship's sensors detected an anomaly outside the station. Lyra leaned forward, her eyes scanning the holographic displays. "Something's out there," she murmured. "A ship, or a probe." "An unregistered vessel," Coral confirmed. "It is observing you. They may be curious or hostile. Be prepared." Curious or hostile. Lyra didn't like the sound of that. But she knew one thing. She couldn't run. She had to test the ship's abilities. With a deep breath, she engaged the main thrusters, lifting the ship carefully off the platform. The engines hummed powerfully, responding instantly to her commands. The ship's glow pulsed in harmony with her heartbeat, as if it approved of her decision. The unregistered vessel appeared on her sensors again, a small, sleek craft moving cautiously around the station's edge. Lyra had never flown against another ship in a real scenario before. Her hands shook slightly, but she remembered Coral's words. Humans were capable of more than they realized. "Stay calm," Coral said. "We will not flee. We will observe and respond." The alien voice gave her courage. Lyra maneuvered the ship with precision, dodging the probe's scanning beams and moving closer to examine it. As she approached, the probe emitted a high-pitched signal, scanning the ship's hull. Lyra felt a flicker of fear. What if it triggered an alarm? What if someone tried to attack? But the ship reacted faster than her fear could take hold. Shields activated automatically, shimmering around the vessel like a bubble of light. The probe's sensors bounced off harmlessly. Lyra gasped, amazed. "It can protect itself," she whispered. "Yes," Coral replied. "It knows you are its pilot. It will defend you when necessary." The probe finally retreated, and Lyra felt a rush of pride. She had controlled the ship under pressure, and it had responded like a loyal partner, not just a machine. That night, she stayed in the cockpit longer than usual, running her hands over the controls and feeling the hum of energy beneath her fingertips. "Coral," she asked quietly, "why me? Why did the ship choose a human?" "Because humans possess qualities other species often overlook," Coral said. "Courage, creativity, determination. You do not need to be the strongest or the fastest. You need to be brave enough to try, smart enough to adapt, and wise enough to learn. You have all of these. That is why you were chosen." Lyra smiled softly. It was one thing to survive in a galaxy full of powerful species, and another to be recognized as capable. For the first time, she felt proud, not just of her skills, but of her species. The following week was a blur of preparation and discovery. Lyra experimented with the ship's engines, testing its speed, agility, and response. The ship could maneuver in ways she had never imagined, spinning and twisting in zero gravity as if it had its own mind. Hidden compartments revealed alien tools, star charts, and even small holographic projectors. One evening, while examining a small storage chamber, Lyra discovered a device that projected a holographic map of nearby star systems. Glowing lines traced paths between planets, with tiny symbols marking points of interest. "What is this?" Lyra asked. "It is a map of Zephyrin exploration," Coral explained. "It shows outposts, research stations, and locations of interest long before humans traveled the stars. It is also a guide. Follow it carefully, and you may discover wonders few humans have seen." Lyra felt her excitement rise. She had imagined traveling among the stars, but this was more than she had ever dreamed. She would not only pilot a ship, she would explore unknown worlds and uncover secrets of an ancient civilization. But adventure always attracted attention. Rumors of a human with a Zephyrin vessel spread quickly across Haven 7. Traders whispered about her daring, scavengers muttered about luck, and other pilots eyed her with a mixture of envy and suspicion. One day, a group of scavengers entered her workshop, their eyes sharp and calculating. "You've got something that doesn't belong to you," one of them said, stepping forward. His voice was rough, his movements confident. "That ship. It's ancient Zephyrin tech. Where did you find it?" Lyra stood tall, feeling her pulse quicken. "It's mine," she said firmly. "I bought it. 50 credits, that's all." The scavengers laughed, a cold, harsh sound. "50 credits? That's impossible. That ship is worth a fortune. You've been lucky, human. Don't think it will stay yours for long." Lyra didn't argue. She knew luck had nothing to do with it. The ship had chosen her. It trusted her. That was far more important than any credits or gold. The scavengers left, grumbling, but their eyes lingered on the ship as they departed. Lyra knew they would return, or others like them would. She had to be ready. Over the next few days, she focused on strengthening the ship and learning its full potential. She discovered it could manipulate energy fields, create temporary shields, and even communicate subtly with other electronic systems. It responded to her commands almost instinctively, predicting her needs before she expressed them. One night, while practicing maneuvers near the edge of the station, Lyra accidentally activated a hidden engine function. The ship surged forward with incredible speed, breaking free of the station's orbit and gliding silently among the stars. She gasped at the view, the expanse of space, planets glowing in distant orbits, and countless stars sparkling like diamonds. "Coral, this is incredible," she whispered. "Yes," the voice said softly, "and this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast, full of mysteries and challenges. You are ready to explore, but you must also be careful. There are those who would take what you now possess. Be vigilant." Lyra nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and caution. She was no longer just a scavenger or a trader. She was a pilot, an explorer, and a guardian of a ship that had waited centuries for the right human. The days turned into weeks. Lyra learned to anticipate the ship's movements, to trust its responses, and to communicate in a way that was almost instinctive. The bond between human and ship grew stronger each day, a partnership forged in curiosity, courage, and trust. And then, one evening, while scanning nearby star systems, Lyra noticed a small, faint signal on the ship's sensors. It was old, almost imperceptible, but the ship reacted immediately, glowing softly and vibrating under her hands. "What is it?" she asked. "It is a trace of Zephyrin origin," Coral said. "A record left long ago. It may lead to a forgotten outpost or knowledge lost to time. If you choose to follow it, you will discover wonders and face challenges that few humans have encountered." Lyra's heart raced. This was what she had been waiting for. Not just to pilot a ship, but to truly explore, to discover the secrets of the stars, and to prove that humans were capable of more than anyone believed. She leaned back in her seat, taking a deep breath. The stars outside her window glimmered with possibility. She had a ship, a guide, and the courage to venture into the unknown, and no matter what dangers lay ahead, she knew one thing with certainty: she would face them head-on, and she would not fail. The ship hummed beneath her hands, alive and aware. Together, human and Zephyrin vessel were ready to awaken the galaxy. Lyra smiled, her eyes fixed on the distant stars. Her journey had truly begun. The hum of the ship filled the quiet of Lyra's cockpit as she prepared for her first real journey beyond Haven 7. She had spent weeks learning its systems, communicating with Coral, and understanding the secrets hidden in the ancient vessel. Now, the ship's glowing panels displayed the path that the Zephyrin map had indicated, a forgotten outpost on the edge of known space. "Are you ready?" Coral's voice asked, calm and steady. Lyra nodded, gripping the controls. "I've never been more ready." With a soft vibration beneath her hands, the ship surged forward, slipping through the station's outer docking corridors and into open space. The stars stretched endlessly around her, the colors of distant nebulae painting the void in hues she had only ever imagined. The ship responded to her every command as if it were an extension of her body. Its sensors scanned continuously, glowing softly with intelligence. For hours, they traveled through uncharted sectors, avoiding asteroid fields and cosmic debris. Lyra marveled at the ship's agility. It could twist, spin, and accelerate in ways no human ship had ever been capable of. Every movement felt natural, like a dance between pilot and vessel. Coral guided her, showing her hidden functions that allowed the ship to manipulate gravitational fields and energy currents for incredible speed. But the galaxy rarely left travelers alone. A sudden alarm flashed on the control panel. Lyra leaned forward, eyes wide. A group of sleek, dark ships appeared on the sensors, their trajectories calculated and precise. They were raiders, pirates who had been tracking the movement of advanced ships near Haven 7. And now, they had found her. "Hostiles," Coral said. "They sense something unusual about this vessel. They may attempt to take it." Lyra swallowed hard but refused to panic. "What should we do?" she asked. "Trust me," the ship replied, "and trust yourself. We will not flee. We will confront them and survive." The raiders moved closer, their ships bristling with weapons. Lyra felt a surge of fear, but also determination. She would not let them take the ship, nor would she let them underestimate a human's courage. She adjusted the controls, engaging the ship's shields. A soft glow expanded around them, pulsating like a heartbeat. "Energy shields are active," Coral confirmed. "We can defend, but we must also be clever. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and daring to act." Lyra took a deep breath. The first raider fired. Energy blasts streaked toward them, but the ship moved instinctively, twisting in space, deflecting the shots with shields and subtle energy currents. Lyra felt a thrill of triumph. She had never felt so alive. As the battle continued, she discovered something remarkable. The ship could predict her movements and even counter the enemy's attacks. Tiny holographic indicators showed weak points in the raiders' formations. Lyra adjusted her maneuvers, using the ship's powers to outsmart the attackers. One by one, the raiders' ships were forced to retreat. Lyra's hands shook with adrenaline, but she laughed, exhilarated. "We did it!" she exclaimed. "Yes," Coral said softly. "And this is only the beginning. There are challenges ahead that will require not just courage, but intelligence, creativity, and resilience." After the raiders had disappeared, Lyra allowed herself a moment to rest. She floated in the cockpit, gazing at the stars. For the first time, she realized the true magnitude of what she had inherited. This was not merely a ship, it was a companion, a teacher, and a protector. And she was not just a human scavenger anymore. She was a pilot capable of commanding something extraordinary. The next few days were filled with exploration. The ship led her to hidden asteroid fields, where she discovered rare minerals and ancient debris. Coral guided her to ancient satellites and long-abandoned space stations. Lyra collected samples, took readings, and logged everything she found. With each discovery, her understanding of the ship and the galaxy grew. But the Zephyrin map was more than a collection of coordinates. It was a test. Hidden signals and encrypted codes led her deeper into uncharted space, where gravitational anomalies and radiation storms challenged both human skill and alien technology. Lyra learned to manipulate the ship's energy fields to stabilize her path, steering through deadly cosmic turbulence with precision. One day, the ship brought her to a massive, derelict station orbiting a dead planet. Its structure was covered in strange symbols, glowing faintly in the darkness of space. Lyra's heart pounded with excitement. "This is it," she whispered. "The outpost." The station was silent, but Coral warned her to proceed carefully. The doors opened automatically as she approached, sensing her presence. Inside, the air was still, the corridors empty, yet alive with faint energy. The walls pulsed with the same patterns as the ship's hull, and Lyra realized that she was not merely exploring the station. She was reconnecting with the Zephyrin legacy. In the central chamber, she discovered a holographic console, ancient but functional. Symbols danced across its surface, and Lyra felt the ship vibrate beneath her. Coral explained that this was a Zephyrin data hub containing knowledge of exploration, star routes, and alien civilizations. For hours, Lyra deciphered the codes, guided by the ship. "You are learning quickly," Coral said. "Humans have a rare ability to adapt. You will need it in the times to come." Suddenly, a warning flashed across the station's sensors. Another fleet was approaching, not scavengers this time, but a patrol from a powerful alien coalition. They had detected the ancient outpost and were intent on securing it for themselves. "They are strong," Coral said. "We must be clever, Lyra. This is a trial of strategy and courage." Lyra's mind raced. The fleet was larger than anything she had faced before. They outnumbered her and her ship. But she remembered something Coral had taught her. Humans could survive by thinking differently. She activated a series of hidden functions on the ship, creating holographic decoys to confuse the enemy sensors. The vessel moved unpredictably, twisting through space in ways that seemed impossible. Lyra's heart pounded as energy shields flared and weapons discharged defensively. Each move was precise, calculated, and daring. The alien fleet faltered. Their sensors were deceived, their formations broken. Lyra realized that the ship was not only protecting her, it was amplifying her own human ingenuity. She adjusted her maneuvers, using gravity wells and energy currents to escape the patrol's line of sight. Within hours, the fleet had given up, retreating with frustration. Lyra let out a long breath, feeling the thrill of victory. "We did it," she said, smiling despite the exhaustion. "We really did it." "Yes," Coral said warmly. "And this is only one of many trials you will face. You are growing stronger, faster, and wiser. The galaxy will test you, but you are not alone." In the quiet that followed, Lyra explored the outpost fully. She found storage rooms with ancient Zephyrin equipment, laboratories filled with strange devices, and archives containing records of distant worlds. Every discovery fueled her curiosity, her sense of adventure, and her belief in human potential. For the first time, she understood the true gift Coril had left her. It was not just a ship. It was a companion, a mentor, and a key to knowledge that humanity had never seen. And in the bond between pilot and vessel, she saw the strength of humans, their courage, adaptability, and endless curiosity. Days turned into weeks as Lyra studied the outpost and traveled further into the unknown. The ship continued to reveal secrets, teaching her new functions, guiding her through hazards, and challenging her to grow. She became faster, smarter, and more confident with every maneuver. Then came the signal. A faint, almost imperceptible energy pulse emanated from a distant star system. Coral recognized it instantly. "It is a beacon," the ship said. "Something awaits you there, something that will test your courage and skill like never before." Lyra felt a shiver of anticipation. She tightened her grip on the controls. "Then let's go," she said. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together." As the ship accelerated toward the distant star, Lyra looked out at the endless expanse of space. She had faced danger, navigated unknown territory, and proven her courage. But she knew the trials were only beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries, challenges, and secrets waiting to be discovered. And she was ready. Because humans, she realized, were capable of more than anyone had imagined. And now, with this ancient ship and the guidance of Coril, she was ready to prove it to the stars. The ship hummed beneath her hands, alive and aware, pulsing with energy and intelligence. Lyra smiled, feeling a bond stronger than anything she had ever known. Together they would face whatever the galaxy had in store, and together they would succeed. Her trial had begun, and she would not fail. Lyra Vance tightened her grip on the controls as the ancient ship surged through the void of deep space. The distant beacon pulsed on the ship's sensors, a signal so faint it seemed almost like a whisper, but Coral recognized it instantly. "It is calling you," the ship said. "Whatever lies there will test your courage, skill, and resolve. Humans rarely encounter such challenges. You must be ready." Lyra's heart raced, but she did not falter. She had faced raiders, hostile patrols, and cosmic hazards, and she had survived. She had learned to trust her instincts and to rely on the ship's intelligence. But now, the challenge felt different. This was something ancient, something unknown. As they approached the origin of the signal, Lyra saw it. A massive, irregular structure orbiting a dead star. It was unlike anything she had seen before. An ancient Zephyrin station, far older than the outpost she had explored earlier. Its surface glowed faintly, etched with the same symbols that adorned her ship. The station appeared lifeless, yet it radiated a presence that felt almost alive. "Coril, what is this?" she whispered. "This is a test," the ship replied. "The final trial. Within this station lies a knowledge archive and perhaps something more. But it will challenge not just your skills. It will challenge your courage and humanity." Lyra's fingers trembled slightly as she maneuvered the ship into the station's orbit. The docking bay opened automatically, recognizing the presence of a Zephyrin vessel. Carefully, she piloted inside, feeling the ship pulse with excitement beneath her hands. The interior was vast and silent. Corridors stretched in all directions, illuminated by soft, alien light. Lyra walked carefully, the ship's sensors scanning for hazards. She felt a thrill of anticipation. Every step felt like entering history itself, a moment few humans would ever experience. Then, a voice echoed through the corridors. Not Coril, but something else. It was deep, resonant, and commanding. "Lyra Vance, Human pilot, you have proven your courage. You have awakened the ship, faced the dangers, and reached this place. Are you ready to accept the legacy of the Zephyrin civilization? Lyra's eyes widened. She had expected tests of skill or intelligence, but not a direct challenge like this. She squared her shoulders. Yes, she said, I am ready. The chamber ahead shifted, revealing a holographic interface. Symbols danced across the air, forming images of distant galaxies, star systems, and civilizations long forgotten. The station's AI, or perhaps its consciousness, began to teach her, showing knowledge humans had never possessed: advanced navigation techniques, energy manipulation, and technologies that could reshape how humans traveled the stars. As Lyra absorbed the information, she realized something profound. The Zephyrins had chosen humans for a reason, not just her, but humans in general. They had a rare combination of curiosity, courage, and adaptability, qualities that allowed them to understand and use technology in ways other species could not. This is incredible, Lyra whispered. We could do so much with this knowledge. Yes, the station said, and you must. But first, you must pass the final test. Prove that you are worthy to carry this legacy. Suddenly, the chamber shifted again, revealing a series of challenges. Energy fields pulsed in the air, moving obstacles blocked the path, and complex puzzles formed before her eyes. The station tested her intellect, her agility, and her courage. Lyra's heart pounded, but she focused. She moved with precision, guided by Coral and her own instincts. The ship hovered nearby, projecting holographic pathways and assisting with tricky maneuvers. Together they navigated the obstacles, solved the puzzles, and overcame the energy barriers. Hours passed, and finally, the final test was revealed. A deep chamber containing a glowing crystalline core. It radiated energy so powerful that the ship shivered beneath her hands. This is the heart of the station, Coral explained. It contains the culmination of Zephyrin knowledge and technology. Only a pilot with courage, intelligence, and humanity can access it. Lyra stepped forward, her hand trembling as she touched the crystalline core. Instantly, visions flooded her mind: star systems, alien civilizations, and the history of the galaxy itself. She saw humans in distant worlds, exploring, learning, and overcoming challenges. And through it all, she realized the truth. Humans were capable of greatness, capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. The core pulsed, and a soft voice spoke directly into her mind. You have proven yourself, Lyra Vance. You have faced danger, embraced knowledge, and shown the courage of your species. The legacy of the Zephyrins is yours to protect and share. Take it, and let humanity rise among the stars. Tears welled in Lyra's eyes. She had not expected this. Not recognition, not responsibility, not the chance to shape the future. But she accepted it fully. I will, she said softly. I promise. I will protect this knowledge, and I will use it to help humanity grow. The core glowed brighter, then released a pulse of energy that spread throughout the station. Lyra felt it in every fiber of her being, a connection to the stars, to the Zephyrin civilization, and to the ship that had guided her. The challenges were over. She had passed the trial. The station now recognized her as a worthy guardian, and her ship pulsed with pride beneath her hands. Over the next few days, Lyra explored the station fully, gathering knowledge and tools that would help humanity reach new heights. She discovered energy sources, star charts, and designs for vessels far more advanced than anything humans had built. She understood that this knowledge was a gift, not to be hoarded, but to be shared wisely. As she prepared to leave the station, Lyra looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of purpose she had never known. She was no longer just a scavenger or a pilot. She was a guardian, a protector, and a bridge between humanity and the legacy of an ancient civilization. "Are you ready to return home?" Coral asked. "Yes," Lyra said, "but not the same way. Humanity needs this knowledge. We have the courage to explore, the intelligence to learn, and the will to survive. It's time to show the galaxy what humans are capable of." The ship responded with a soft glow, pulsing in harmony with her heartbeat. Together they left the Zephyrin station behind, heading for human space, carrying with them the legacy of an entire civilization. The journey home was filled with quiet reflection. Lyra reviewed the data she had collected, planned her route through the stars, and imagined the possibilities that awaited humanity. She knew there would be challenges, others who would seek to claim the knowledge, dangers in unexplored space. But she felt ready. She had faced trials, learned from the past, and embraced her courage. And then came the moment that would define her. As she approached the edge of human space, she encountered a group of young human pilots in old ships. They were struggling to navigate a dangerous asteroid field, clearly inexperienced. Lyra's heart went out to them. "Coral," she said, "they need help." "They do," the ship agreed, "and humans have a responsibility to help each other. Lead them." With confidence, Lyra guided the young pilots through the treacherous field, using her advanced knowledge and the ship's abilities. They followed her lead, awed by her skill, and safely emerged on the other side. The pilots cheered, looking at her with respect and admiration. Lyra smiled. "This is just the beginning," she said. "Humans are stronger together, and we have much to learn. But we can achieve great things." Word of her return spread quickly. Traders, explorers, and scientists marveled at the stories of her ship, the Zephyrin outpost, and the legacy she now carried. Humanity had glimpsed something extraordinary, proof that courage, intelligence, and determination could elevate them to greatness. As she traveled from system to system, Lyra shared what she could safely reveal, teaching humans new techniques and inspiring a generation of explorers. Her ship became a symbol of hope, a testament to human potential, and a beacon for those who dreamed of the stars. Years later, Lyra looked back on her journey, remembering the day she bought a rusty ancient ship for 50 credits. She smiled, knowing that it had been more than a bargain. It had been the start of a legacy. The ship, Coral's guidance, and her own courage had proven one undeniable truth. Humans were capable of greatness. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown wonders and dangers, but Lyra knew one thing clearly. With courage, intelligence, and heart, humanity could rise among the stars. And she, pilot of the ancient Zephyrin ship, would lead the way. The ship hummed beside her, alive and aware, a partner in discovery and adventure. Together they looked to the horizon, ready for whatever the universe would bring. For the first time in human history, the stars no longer seemed distant or impossible. They were reachable, and humanity, clever, brave, and resilient, was ready to claim its place among them.